Hi, welcome to day 33 of Getting to Know Yourself, Das Atzmacha. We're going to just review here and summarize. We spoke about getting to this quiet space, uncovering our inner thoughts, then that uncovers our original thought that we never really took the time to notice that is inside of us because we are busy, paying attention to the outer thoughts, the thoughts like, oh my gosh, that person looked at me strange. Oh my gosh, why is that person doing that? That's so strange. I don't know, whatever thoughts go through our heads on the external level. So we spoke about how to get to an internal type of thought. And then Rav Schwartz gave us steps of revealing the essential self and said, close your outer eyes, go into a dark space, come to a quiet space. So these are ideas of how to get to that inner world. Then he says, we're going to have to calm down our desires also, our external desires, because those also make us go running around in 1,000 different directions. If we have a ton of material desires or other types of desires that keep us running and busy, then it's also very hard to get to that quiet, contemplative self, inner self. If you see this picture over here, by the way, I think I said a beach is my favorite place to be, one of my favorite places to be, but you could take yourself to a quiet space anywhere in the world and sit there and then go inward at that space. But the reason I was doing it here, where she's sitting on this, like a walkway into the ocean, it looks like, and then there's infinite possibilities beyond her. It just looks so vast. That's the world you enter when you get to that alone space. It's exquisite, my favorite word, and my favorite place, all in one, and you see it right there. And that, what you're looking at, is actually inside of you, each of you. So you could even get a picture of your favorite place to be and look at it and know that that space is inside of you, that beauty that you see there is inside of you. So now Rav Schwartz says, first we need to work on noticing what those actions are that make us feel disconnected from our inner world. And then we work on our desires that are making us go running around, and our speech, because these are more external things that express us. So we begin by working on those things. Then we go to the thoughts and being able to calm the thoughts. It's much easier to work on external calming of body, action, speech, and then go inward to the thoughts, because we can't see our thoughts in the same way. We're not used to it. Okay, so thinking and pausing. He says one way to do this, to deepen the power of thought, is by thinking and stopping, so that we become the observer of the thought and we become the controller of the thoughts. So the first thing that happens is the person thinks they are their thoughts. That's what I told you about myself. I thought I was my thoughts. I identified with my thoughts. I didn't realize I couldn't observe my thoughts. Now, once I realized I'm not my thought because I'm able to observe my thought, then I was able to choose, okay, this one is serving me, this one is not serving me, this one is revealing who I am, this one is not revealing who I am. And then I was able to take steps. He says here, pause and stop. I sometimes, for some thoughts, I replaced it with a positive thought because that worked for me at that time. Now, because I've worked with it so much, and the mind is a muscle, so it's a muscle that we work with, I'm able to more often stop the thought that isn't serving me and turn away from it, and then turn to my inner world and to Hashem, and A, ask for new thoughts, and B, try and think thoughts that are more connected to who I really am. So one way to do this, he says, think and stop. And also he says, get used to thinking simple thoughts. There is an avoda, there's a work to thinking simple thoughts. We don't need to attain analytical thoughts all the time. There's an avoda, there's a work that just gets simple. well-known things, and then take a very well-known concept and review it quietly again and again. That idea of Ein od milvado, there's nothing aside from you, Hashem, that you are controlling everything, you are creating everything, you are creating me right here, right now, or Hashem, I know you're with me right here, right now. Any of those simple thoughts, saying them over and over, or it doesn't have to be spiritual. It could be, I love myself and accept myself the way I am, which is actually spiritual because you're going back to, who am I? I am this soul. Whatever simple thought you want to hold on to here and now throughout the day, that also calms the thoughts and gives you control over your thoughts rather than your thoughts having control over you. And that's really what he's trying to teach you here, is how to get that ability, not in this whole book, but in this part. Right? So take a particular principle, review it again and again, and at some point you'll be able to uncover a depth in that principle that you never noticed before. Although you surely knew the principle, you never sensed the depth or of its significance. So that's an interesting idea. That's the more you review a simple thought, something that seems simple to you and just flows with you, the more depth or original thought you will get from that. Simple thought is an inner entity. It brings you to your inner entity. It brings you to a world of serene thought. So rather than having thoughts jump from place to place, you become very serene in your mind, and that comes through in your actions, in your speech. And maybe you're noticing it's happening here with me right now, because it becomes an inner experience and awareness. And this is the end of chapter 10. Rav Schwartz says, if you ask a person, do you exist? She'll say, yeah. How does she know? Is it because she thinks so? That would be a superficial answer. If a person says, I exist because I think I exist, it's superficial. Rather, a person can experience herself from within herself. This is an inner knowledge of the self, yet that only lets us know that we exist. We do not experience the existence itself. Once a person attains serene thought, she discovers quieter and even quieter thoughts until she senses her true self. This is a departure from thought to experience. It is existence, not merely thought. I realize that some people will discover this discussion as some kind of mysterious code and will be bored from it. Each person reacts according to her own nature. This is Rav Schwartz saying in the last of the chapter. One who has experienced this feeling at some stage in life, whether for a period of time or for brief moments, but does not know how to recover it or had attained it through other means, not by the Holy Torah, needs to return to it through the means of Torah and mitzvos. One who has already been there does not need my words to convince her. She wants to return there because she knows this is where she can find herself. She just wants to find the way, and we have tried to help her do that. If one has not experienced it but believes in it, she can also follow this path. But if someone is not convinced and just wants to try it in case she will find something, she is unlikely to succeed entering inward. Anytime a person wants to succeed, she must have trust in the tools she is using and their purpose. A lack of inner trust makes success unlikely. So, as to succeed, one must trust not me, but our sages of blessed memory who have taught based on the Torah that a person has a holy soul within, a holy neshama within, which is connected to the source of delight. A person is created only to delight in Hashem and enjoy the radiance of the divine presence. She must believe that her neshama is the most precious treasure in life. It is inside of us, and we have the obligation and privilege to uncover it. And that ends chapter 10. Thank you so much for listening. Yes, we do have 7 days left, Baruch Hashem, because these are the days that now I want to take it to an experiential type of thing, God willing. Hopefully we'll be able to do that starting tomorrow. We're going to begin summarizing piece by piece and experiencing it as we go. Hopefully. Okay, looking forward to tomorrow. Have a beautiful day today.